Summer was now in full swing, and I was doing my best to take advantage of it, spending time on the lake, paddleboarding in the hot sun, and taking dives into the refreshing water to cool off.
That's exactly why I wanted to tie them up to each other.
At home, I was continuing my rehab exercises for my knee as much as I could, and doing some meal prepping so that I didn't have to think about what to eat each day. I could just grab a lunch from the refrigerator and go on with things. And then one Saturday morning, as the sun first peeked over the mountains, my friend Nikolai and I packed his little car to the brim and set off on a road trip. The first leg of the drive was the shortest by mileage, but longest by time.
What's the best way to put stuff in here?
Most of the roads would be curvy and narrow and wouldn't allow for fast speeds. But before we got out of Albania, we had the chance to drive on a brand new highway toll road between Tirana and Shkodër. I love that Albania is getting better roads, but I am worried about how the drivers here will use it. It's not a route that I've normally taken, so we were a bit confused. But as we approached the toll booth, the attendant leaned out the window with the biggest smile on his face and said, "For today, it's free."
Who knows? I'm not complaining though.
Oh, yeah, certainly not.
Free for today. Toll road between Tirana and Shkodër. And we pulled up and the guy told us it was free for today. Maybe he just liked us. Maybe he just thought we were nice looking gentlemen.
And that was the start of a very good day with booth workers. Crossing the border into Montenegro took no more than 5 minutes, and the guy on the Albanian side barely even looked at us before waving us through.
It looks like a spaceship from the phone.
We then meandered our way through the scenic backroads of Montenegro, some of which probably haven't had maintenance in years.
I can see way better with the camera than I can. Except for that. Oh, that is cool. The guardrail is always in my way. Yeah, I finally get a clip of it. I did not even see them. I knew you were going to say that.
We headed inland from the coast along the Bay of Kotor until we arrived at a ferry to cut down our driving time by at least an hour. And after paying €5, we took the welcome break from the hot car and watched the sailboats drift by as the wind cooled our faces.
Hopefully. Unless there's a huge line of cars.
Then Nikolai spotted an inconspicuous restaurant off the side of the road, so we decided to take our chances before heading towards the Croatia border, which ended up being only slightly longer than the last border we went through, and apparently we were headed in the right direction, as many people were heading south for their summer vacation. We arrived at our modest accommodation, and after downing liters of water and a quick power nap, we backtracked a little bit to the coastal village of Slano to find some food.
I was thinking we'd get the pizza and there's like a parking lot somewhere.
Yeah, there is. Over there at the beach. That's fine with me. I can understand this if you're camping here, it'd be annoying to have that road.
I walked around this small village, amongst freshly showered tourists roaming the streets, their skin vibrant with a fresh sunburn, looking for the pizza place we wanted to try. The boats drifted silently as the calm water lapped at the pier. It was the kind of village that you could spend one weekend in, and then spend the rest of your life reminiscing about. It reminded me yet again that this is why I enjoy road trips, and why I have a life dream of doing a significant road trip on every continent. It's not that I'm a fan of the long hours in a cramped car, but rather the places you see in between that make it worth it. The places that you would never have expected to visit. That's some nice light. That looks so cool.
Yeah, I see a few. But they're like out in the rocks out there. And this is why I was so careful about coming into the water. That guy, the little bugger. Somebody probably put that on top of him so that no one would step on him. I'll put it back.
And then Nikolai and I took our pizzas and found a rocky beach near our hotel to enjoy our dinner. We sat and munched on fresh margarita, while the colors of the skies danced away into the horizon. We talked through the lingering sunset, watching star after star poke through the night sky, as a steady flow of cars rumbled by on the road behind us. and we were up early the next morning to hit the road again. The sun was already beating down on us. Compared to the first day, the second day was relatively uneventful. We spent the morning winding through the scenic coastal roads of Croatia. Little villages covered in red tile roofs were tucked into unsuspecting corners of the shoreline. It wasn't long until we took a sharp turn into a tunnel and quickly popped out on the other side, heading deeper into the countryside of Croatia. I turned on an audiobook, we hit the highway, and the kilometers started to breeze by. As lunchtime approached, we took a pit stop at one of the lesser-known waterfalls that dot the Croatian countryside. While a fair number of people were still there, the foreigners seemed to be significantly outnumbered by the local Croatians. Nikolai explained that for many, many years, the German filmmakers have been using the Croatian wilderness as a setting in their films for the American West. And after understanding that, I keep finding myself wondering what it would have been like to discover these places for the first time. It's beautiful now, but I can only imagine the feeling of not having dozens of people to share it with.
This is terrifying because this thing sinks if I drop it. Oh, this is so cool. I feel like a real filmmaker now. Woo. Nice little workout. Yeah. Oh, this is so good.
We ate, we swam, and then we folded ourselves back into the car, setting our GPS for Slovenia.
Make any sense.
This was going to be my first time in Slovenia, the 38th country I've set foot in. We got off the highway to cut through the countryside, and as the road snaked through the cornfields, we passed village after village, each one with their own church, many of which seemed out of commission. And every once in a while, an empty police car parked by the side of the road, giving a mini heart attack to any speeding tourists. And the further north we drove, the more the surroundings started to resemble Germany, our final destination.
Is this now new territory for you?
Oh yeah, I've never been here before. This is the first time I've ever been in this country. I love all the cornfields.
Our hotel for our singular night in Slovenia sat on top of a giant hill, overlooking endless fields with the beginning of the Alps as a backdrop. We arrived as the sun was setting and ate a very German-inspired dinner before watching the European Championship finale.
Yeah, that's better.
For the second morning in a row, we were up early and getting back on the road. This time, however, we had somewhere specific to be. We were heading to a nearby gorge that we had found on Google Maps. It was located just outside of the well-known city of Bled, and it seemed more interesting than going to the Instagram-famous lake. The air inside the gorge was brisk, thanks to the deep canyon walls and the fresh, fast-flowing water cascading through the rocks. This wouldn't typically be my favorite way of exploring part of a country, but the photos I had seen piqued my interest, so we took the chance. Walking along the steep cliffs on a wooden boardwalk as the warm golden sunbeams pierced the cold air, I thought about all the natural beauty Albania has to offer, and if done right, it could be just as well organized.
It's so interesting how they can stay at the same position despite the stream.
Makes it really nice for
Exactly
me.
how strong they must be.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
The boy climbed a tall tree and began to whistle. At the third whistle, the Snake Queen appeared.
After completing the gorge walk, we climbed up staircase after staircase to walk through the woods back to the car. Back to sitting for hours on end listening to a book as the countryside of Austria whizzed by. It didn't seem long until the mountains receded and we were welcomed by the colorful fields of southern Germany, ready to be harvested.
I feel like I'm in an A store.
Our final accommodation before we parted ways was the home of some good friends. We were welcomed in with homemade pizzas, and then we played games until I could barely keep my eyes open, and I drifted off into a much-needed sleep after almost 2,000 kilometers of travel.
No, he's actually really good.
I spent the next few days at a hotel in a small village in Germany. It's a hotel that I do work for on a consistent basis, and they wanted to update some of the photos on their website, so I spent a few days knocking off different tasks from a to-do list. They wanted to promote the region and a few attractions. So one morning I went on a nearby hike with a few other people to a viewpoint overlooking a small lake. The forests here are unlike many in Albania. Trees that are decades old creating a fluorescent canopy that shades the entire forest floor. Bases of trees and boulders blanketed in soft moss, and countless dirt paths winding through the trees, turned to mud by a recent rainstorm. This trip has taught me that no matter how long of a drive you have in front of you, it's important to stop and experience things along the way. The pizza on the beach in Croatia, showering in a waterfall, wandering through steep ravines. Memories that feel so distant, yet happened mere days before. A trip filled with small, memorable moments that will stick with me for a lifetime. It made me appreciate this trip far more than if we had just buckled our seatbelts and blazed through the countries without looking around us. I spent the last morning at the hotel, playing some games and taking time to pack up my things. And I arrived at the airport a bit early. But it just so happened that that day there was a global IT issue with Microsoft, causing everything at the airport to be even more delayed. So it was supposed to be a 7 p.m. departure, turned into a 9:45 liftoff. But if making these videos has taught me anything, is to appreciate any small moments of beauty that I can find. So as I slowly made my way onto the plane, I took time to soak in the view of the sun, turning into an orange globe as it sank behind the trees, and an almost full moon shone like a golden coin suspended in the night sky. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll be back soon.